Welcome back, warrior. We are reading Exodus chapter 26. The tabernacle is to be built with 10 curtains and with boards. A veil is to separate the holy place from the most holy place. The ark of testimony with the mercy seat is to be put in the most holy place. And now, if you've ever seen the traveling tabernacle, so we live here in Utah, and there's like a traveling tabernacle that they built and they build, and they try and use and make everything according to the specific specifications of what a tabernacle used to be like back in the day. And it is so cool. You get to tour it and walk through it. It's totally free, which I think is amazing. And it's just awesome to see things in person. Like, that is what they meant. Okay, that makes more sense, right? And this also was like their temple. And they traveled with the temple. Like, how cool is that, right? And so a lot of things that are listed in these chapters that we're skipping over for our Come Follow Me reading are actually instructions on how to build a traveling temple. And it is so cool to see, because I think it's so interesting to read and then I'll put the link somewhere of like the traveling tabernacles, because they even have pictures and you can see like what it kind of looks like. So here we go. But I can understand why they skipped over it, because it's just a lot of like this and this. You have to build it like this, right? And so not necessarily a whole ton of storyline per se, but just like a lot of instruction on how to build stuff. Okay, so what did I say? There was 37 verses. Here we go. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet with cherubims. Of cunning work shalt thou make them. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling. And likewise shalt thou make in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. You know what's interesting with all these things? I bet that these instructions were given when these instructions were given, they were probably like, we need to talk to the ladies because we don't know what we're doing with the sewing and the combining of the cloths and things like that. And it makes my heart happy to think that they would ask the sisters and the ladies of like Israel, because, or at the very least, if they didn't ask the lady, they would at least ask the ladies who are very talented in this area, right? So that they could get that instruction more explained to them in a easier way. Like, I always need things dumbed down for me. And so here we go. So, and thou shalt make loops of blue. Okay, so we're on verse 5. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and it shall be one tabernacle. And thou shalt make curtains of goat's hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shalt double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. Again, all these terms for me are going over my head. I have no idea what is going on exactly, right? And so remember to have patience with yourself as the Lord is giving you instructions on how to live life, how to do the thing that he's asking you to do, because sometimes it's going to be like, I have no idea how to do this. And he's going to try and tell you, and you're going to be like, I still have no idea how to do this. But you're going to move forward and you're going to try anyway, because you love the Lord and you know that he will help you through the whole time. So I love I don't like skipping through some of these chapters because I feel like I miss out on the fullness of what the Lord is doing here with the people. And so that's why I have to read these chapters that are the hidden chapters with little hidden gems, you know. But the Lord still trusts them and still gives them the instruction. But I'm sure he is so patient with them. Because honestly, this stuff sounds like complete gibberish to me because I don't know stuff. Now, what I also love is the fact that the Lord is teaching them how to use things that they have currently in their society, in their culture, and is not trying to invent things. I mean, I'm sure a lot of inventions were, came about, but like to try and make things easier. But like, he didn't say like, hey, will you type this up? Or you're going to need to use a little bit of AI to help you with this, right? Like he knows who he's talking to and what skills they have available to them and what knowledge and what resources they have. And so he is talking to them and giving them instruction the way they need and the way that they can accomplish it. So I love that the Lord meets us where we are and doesn't expect us to invent stuff out of thin air to accomplish his work. Now, I'm sure that after a certain amount of time, they started like, oh, we can do this way and it'll be faster if we do it like this. And, that comes. But I also love that the Lord is just like, we're going to let you use the things that you have available to you. And that's how I'm going to give you the instruction. So anyway, I think it's super cool that way. Okay, verse 12. Did I already say that one? No, verse 11. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass and put the taches into the loops and couple the tent together, that it may be one. Okay, I think I did read it. Verse 12. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. Verse 14. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and the covering above of badger skins. And thou shalt make boards of the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of the board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth thereof, or breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards of the tabernacle 20 boards on the south side, southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for this 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side, there shall be 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under the one board and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, thou shalt make 6 boards, and 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle. Oh, for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the boards shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold 4 places for the bars, and thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which was shewn thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work, with cherubims shall it be made. Okay. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood, overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. And doesn't it sound beautiful? Like with all the gold and fancy material and the veil, and I don't know, it just sounds super cool, and it reminds me of the temple, because it is. They always use the best things in the temple for the house of the Lord. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the taches, that thou mayest bring it thither within the veil, the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And thou shalt set the table without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And thou shalt put the table on the north side. And thou shalt make an hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet of fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And their hooks shall be of gold. And thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Okay, so something else that I've just been thinking about. So that's the end for Exodus chapter 28. But something else I was thinking about is, what else are these people doing besides trying to find Canaan and maybe go there and take over or something? Like, what kind of work were they doing to trade for food and things? Because we had the manna that was coming, and I'm just like, is that like the manna was just like what? Like they were doing that for 40 years. They got manna and quail for 40 years. And I'm just like, wait, so they didn't ever have to worry about like finding food. They did have to worry about making the food, because obviously like just eating it the way it is would not work out. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so the Lord is instructing them to make all this tabernacle, right? And we're trying to find the people who are good with things and instructions, and the builders and the sewers, and and people who have gold or experience with figuring out how they work gold, But how, like, what else are they doing, right? And so people worked in the temple, or people worked on the temple, I guess. And then what else? I mean, the moms, they had to take care of the littles, but it's like, what else was everyone doing? Right? So, I mean, it does make sense that the Lord was giving them all these instructions for specific things to build this tabernacle, because what else are they doing? And I'm not saying, and they had small spaces. It's like they were all living in a tiny home, because it was like their little tiny tent that they had to travel with. So it's not like they had much that they could do there. But I wonder, like, from the point of view of like a person in that company, like what, aside from like Moses and like, because he was the prophet, and aside from like the elders of the church who are like the Levites, or aside from like the people who had callings like that, like what were the people doing, right? So that's kind of my wonder. Okay. Until Exodus chapter 26, stay strong, warrior.